With most of these SMEs, we can't even talk about them doing what's expected because many of them don't even know that this free trade area exists and that they can operate within across the continent. And so the important thing is, number one, to get rid of the blockage that we call lack of information. That has been the biggest problem that the private sector faces. And that's why we are happy that the EU Technical Assistance Facility has put this financing together in order for the East African Business Council, Private Sector Foundation of Uganda, and the other private sector foundations across the East African partner states to, impart this information to the private sector so that they can start preparing to do and doing actual business across the borders. The other factors like the political non-tariff barriers that we face, those are to be dealt with by the governments and the policymakers.
We are a very important player, as a big player in East Africa region, and we have a lot of interest in the East Africa market. We want to grow and spread our wings. But from our own experience in the East Africa market, we have seen there's a lack of homogeneity in terms of policies and implementation, and which we want to get rid of, and we want the policy leaders and the politicians and the government leaders to focus on, because the learnings from East Africa has a good underpinning. It will underpin the correction that the things that we want to do better in whole Africa. The East Africa model can be a model that can show its way.
Unless we have goods and services to trade, then we can't take advantage of the opportunities. But who produces the goods? It is the what? The private sector. So sometimes people always complain, we don't see the benefits of this agreement. So unless you participate in this agreement, then you will always say we are not seeing the benefits. But for us to export goods and services, it must come from the private sector. That's why your role is very critical. If you don't participate, the government will never have any data on statistics to be able to demonstrate the impact of the AfCFTA in Uganda. We can only tell the impact by looking at the data and statistics on maybe export trends for goods and services. But this must come from the private sector.